two lovely ladies with me. I've had the privilege of working with both of them in the Montrose office, and really wanted them to come together to tell you a little bit about how they've built their business. They are a team, and fairly, actually not even a full year. Heather, you've been with us on the team, what, maybe 6 months, I think?
I joined as an assistant for Joni in January, and then I got my license in May.
Yeah. So, and they've really done some great powerhouse things. Joni's always had a team member. For a while, it was her daughter. Now she has Heather with her. And I just wanted them to share how they function, what they do, and what they bring to the business, and kind of give you guys some insight and tidbits. So first of all, Joni, for you, how long have you been in the business? How long have you been doing this as a team concept?
I went to real estate school on my 21st birthday, which was a very long time ago because I'm a grandma. So I got my license when I was 21. Then I let it go inactive for a very short period of time. And I didn't put it on ice. So I had to go take the exam again. So I'm not sure exactly how long I've been licensed, because I was licensed, did a little short break, then I was licensed again. So very long time, probably at least 36 years.
Nice. And Heather, for you, you said January, mid-year, you came on board. What inspired you to come to real estate?
I kind of had a change in career. We had moved to Montrose, and I was in a surgical tech program back in Denver. And after COVID happened, that program kind of dissolved, and I was looking for something else where I could have a flexible schedule and still kind of make money and, be able to be mom and work. And I just started to explore real estate.
Wow, fantastic. Well, and you have a great partner who you get to work with, which is awesome. Mm-hmm. So, Joni, for you, in the way you do your business, right? I think you've been without team, then you've been with team. What's unique for you in your business? How do you like it to be structured? What's the benefit of that? Talk to us a little bit about that.
Well, it's very difficult to structure real estate because it changes every day. Right. So the main thing when you're doing real estate is structure. Structure is good, but the most important thing is to be flexible, because today it's okay, I plan to do this and this, and then you get a call that's urgent. If you've got a buyer or if you've got a seller and they want to list today, everything else kind of gets pushed over there, and then you got to rejuggle your schedule. So it's a constant evolving thing. My schedule evolves through the week. Whatever has to happen gets done. And, we kind of, work through it. So I do have a task list that I use, an Asana program, and Heather is tied into that. So I delegate things to her through that list. And the list, I've always been a list person. I used to have a huge planner that I carried around. Now I have an Asana list, and that keeps us on track. And we have certain things, systems in place for things that have to be done, like, listing contract, sales contract. The different pieces of that are all on that Asana list, so you don't miss something.
Nice. And Heather, of course, you're the recipient of some of that, coming from Joni. How do you manage that into your cycle as part of this team?
I try and, kind of schedule out my mornings. I'm more of a morning person, and Joni's more of an afternoon, evening person. So I try and get a lot of our marketing stuff and the things that we need to do kind of every day, the background stuff. I try and get that done early in the day. So that way, when Joni's kind of up and running and, client stuff is coming in, I can respond to that other stuff and not let the other things kind of fall through the cracks.
Nice. So Joni, we're going to ask you, or maybe Heather can do it, to put the name of that company that you use, whatever your tool was. Someone just asked about that. I think that's great. And I think it is, what you're doing is you're developing that time management piece between the two of you and figuring out how to make that happen. You're super lucky. One person is AM and one person is PM. That couldn't be a better connection, right, in making that happen. So super great tool out there. So talk to me, Joni, a little bit as being a woman in this business. Since you've been around for a while, you've experienced, different years and different years and different experiences being a woman in real estate when you first started versus where you are today. how has that changed? And maybe it hasn't changed, but what is it like to be doing that as a woman, this business, and using it in your life?
I think women are very good at real estate because who's the one that picks the house, right? The house has to make us happy in order for it to happen for the most part, you know? I mean, you do sell houses to single guys and they just do the logical thing. Well, this suits my needs. This is fine, you know, or some of them overthink it, but you know, owning or buying a home is a very emotional thing. And so I guess I've been told I'm an empath. So I'm able to get behind somebody's eyes and see what they want. I figure out pretty quickly what they are looking for. What do they want? What makes them happy? And, you know, I'm not a high pressure salesperson. Everybody makes their own decisions when they buy a house from me or they list with me. And I have had very few times in my career where people have changed their mind because I don't make that decision for them. They make that decision. So I think women are maybe, I don't know if all women are like this, but we're kind of intuitive about what, you know, is making somebody tick, you know. I think the struggle for us as women is, you know, no matter where we are, we probably should be somewhere else, right? So when you're working, you're feeling guilty that you're not doing, you know, this other thing that maybe the kids want you to, especially when kids were small, you know, you really have to make some choices about how, you know, your schedule and how much you're going to work, especially when your kids are small. I've worked all my life since my entire life, but I just worked with my kids, you know, with me. I mean, I would be on the call with a, you know, I'd say the president is calling. I used to tell my kids, the president's calling, you know, because they'll be going crazy in the background, you know, and I'd go, you know, and they learned it. Even my grandkids have learned that. I'll go give them the look, you know, and they go, sorry, you know, because it's natural for them to make a lot of noise when you're on the phone, I swear, you know. So no matter what, if you're with your family, you're feeling, you know, a little conflicted, like, oh, I should be doing this. I should be taking care of this thing that still needs to be done. You know what I mean? So no matter where we are, I think we live in a little puddle of guilt a lot as women. Do you feel like that?
Well, that's a good question for Heather. I mean, Heather, you also have a brood of kids. You still have kids that are small. How do you do that differently? Like, how does that work now for you in it, you know?
Yeah, the work-life balance is definitely the hardest. You know, for me, juggling schedules, I have an 11-year-old, an almost 10-year-old, and an 8-year-old. So, you know, we have gymnastics and youth group and, you know, tons of schedules that I have to manage, and a husband who works evenings. So a lot of times now that kind of falls on me, you know, to do all that. So, you know, we're learning to be prepared for those evenings when I'm out with a client. And, you know, fortunately, my 11-year-old daughter loves to cook. So she's learning to make grilled cheese sandwiches. And, and sometimes that's how we have to roll, you know, and sometimes I'm going to pick up food on my way back from, you know, from being out with a client. And, you know, and that's what we're kind of getting used to, you know, because they're very much used to having me here all the time. And so, you know, the same thing, you know, they're learning when I'm on the phone, like, don't talk to me, you know, don't ask questions. Yeah, right. And they're getting better, you know, so I think it's just a process that, you know, that we go through, and, you know, trying to stay on task and all of that is, you know, the biggest challenge, I think.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I hear from both of you, and I remember from our conversations when you started that, you know, flexibility was your reason for coming into this business, to add some income to the family and to what you're doing. How disciplined have you had to be in that commitment to time?
Well, you know, your day will get away from you real quick, you know, if you're not disciplined. So I think Joni and I are very similar in that, you know, we're both list makers, you know, so I try to be very disciplined about making my list the night before. So that way I know in the morning, like, okay, I've got the kids off to school, you know, and this is what I have to get done, you know, in the morning to make sure that I'm accomplishing the things and that I have time to do the other things that I want to do as well.
And if I gave each of you one word, because I didn't ask this question originally, one word to describe what you love about this business, what is it? What makes you come to work every day for each of you?
My word would be connections.
Nice.
I love the connections, that I make with, women working in the business and the people at our office, and, just the relationship that Joni and I have, and then also connections with clients and all the people and other realtors. That's just, it fills my cup for sure.
Yeah, it's nice. Joni, what about you?
I like the excitement of it, of finding the right place for somebody and seeing excitement in their face, oh, yeah, this is it. This is wonderful. Or selling their house that they need to sell. And it's like, oh, yeah, it's very fulfilling that way.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thank you. What else anything else you guys ladies want to share, or questions? Or
I love the flexibility of this business too. You can say, okay, so, at least you can say, okay, I'm going to do this and this tomorrow. I may not be able to totally take the day off, but I'm going to priorities, and I'm going to do this and this with my family. And you may still be on your phone texting or answering emails. My family's really used to that. They're like, yeah, they're used to that I'm texting and emailing, multitasking, which I know you're not really supposed to do. So, yeah.
Makes sense. Well, great. Well, thank you for your insight, ladies. If anybody needs a connection in Montrose, this is a team you can definitely check in with, and they're there to support you. Likewise, if you're in a different market, and we're super happy you're here. Thank you for coming, ladies. I really appreciate your insight, and hopefully it'll motivate someone to feel good about what they're doing every day in their job.
All right.
Thanks,
Suzanne.
You're welcome.